Trying to convince a Transformers fan to buy a figure that doesn't transform is about as easy as trying to get into Juilliard for playing the skin flute, and Bishoujo Optimus Prime is far from the typical Transformers toy. Does a super cute, curvaceous centerpiece like this have a place in a typical Transformers fan's collection? Welcome back to the show, it's Gay for May. Bishoujo Optimus Prime is the first Transformers character in Kotobukiya's infamous Bishoujo Girls statue line, which has previously covered other Hasbro properties like G.I. Joe and My Little Pony. This line takes our favorite heavy metal warriors and reimagines them as gorgeous and glamorous anime girls. Man, I love the Japanese. I wish they were real. This piece stands nearly 9 inches tall and features a wide base modeled after the Autobots' famous insignia. The figure is primarily made out of a solid plastic and is positioned in a very stable, if uninspired pose. I do think this is a positive for the figure though, as it keeps her feeling accessible. I don't have to put on kid gloves with her like I do with other statues. I can and-arrow this bitch with my big King Kong grip. Might fight a T-Rex too. Or my dog. Looking at the figure, her face is beautiful, with these bright blue eyes, rosy cheeks, and a slightly cocky smile on her soft pink lips. Her portrait is framed by a few locks of dark blue hair, as well as a pair of sunglasses imitating the face of our beloved leader. Her head is decorated further by a set of buns, with a few errant wisps of hair to represent Optimus's bunny ears. Her outfit is super cool and stylish, and is obviously designed to emulate the look of the classic G1 design. She sports a red leather jacket, with the iconic windows represented by a set of breast pockets, parted slightly, exposing a certain round object on her chest that I'd love to dig my fingers into. The matrix of leadership, of course. There's great detailing on the upper body, like the sculpted wrinkling of her jacket and shirt as it blows heroically in the wind, as well as the fabric cuffs and lining around the bottom. And her tummy is super cute and super toned, with a bit of a pinkish shading toward the top and bottom. The body in general is this fleshy peach color, with a nice soft finish that makes her skin look just a touch more realistic. But I think some of the best sculpting is in her lower half. Her little short shorts graciously hug the curves of her hips and booty, detailed with pleats in the legs, and stitching on all the pockets. Past her over the knees, which themselves have a subtle gradient of color, we find the big blue boots, which even include a set of chunky wheels to complete the look. Considering the direction boot fashion has headed, I wouldn't be shocked to see ladies wearing stuff like this by the end of the year, honestly. What I like about this figure is that it feels like a very mature celebration of the character. Like, if you showed your mom Alien Attacks Optimus Prime Girl, she would instinctively know that she wasn't having any grandchildren. But if she saw Bishoujo Optimus Prime, she would probably just be wondering why her middle-aged son was collecting dolls now. Not dolls, Mom, they're fucking statues. This figure is rather light on accessories. In her left hand, she holds a little suitcase, modeled after Optimus's trailer. The paintwork really sells it as a weighty metallic piece. The wheels don't spin though, so that's sad, nor can it be removed from her hand. Thus, her only real accessory is this bonus face piece, giving her a mask reminiscent of Optimus's faceplate. Swapping the faces can take a little finesse, but luckily her head is removable to make it somewhat easier. First, you have to very carefully pry off the glasses. They are thin and made of a hard plastic, so I'm deathly afraid of snapping one of the arms. The issue is that they put these small nubs on the ends of them, so you have to gently lift up to release each side before you can slip the glasses off. This step is unnecessarily harrowing, especially the first time, and it would have been nice if you could just leave the glasses off entirely if you wanted to. Afterwards, it's much easier to remove her bangs and swap the faces around. The new face is pretty cool, but I feel like it saps some of the personality from her. There's no new dynamic expression in her eyes, so it looks as if they just glued a mask on top of a copy of the normal faceplate. Maybe the mask itself should have been removable, and then we wouldn't have to mess around with these silly glasses. I get the sense that this mask part was a late addition to the figure. It noticeably rubs up against the collar of the jacket, so I wouldn't recommend swapping it all that often, lest you risk damaging the paint. Mine also has a substantially sized nub left over on the bottom of the mask that wasn't removed properly before it was painted. My copy has other cosmetic problems too. There's brush strokes clearly visible on the socks, as well as some sloppy deco application on her belt. But there's one rather annoying, obvious defect with my figure, and some of the more astute viewers may have already noticed it. My copy is misassembled. One of her hair buns has actually been attached upside down, making her hairstyle look weirdly asymmetrical. Now, I really wanted to laud this figure and talk about all the benefits of owning a statue, especially because many have said they would buy this if only it was an action figure, and others simply don't get why anyone would opt for a statue instead. I wanted to explain that in exchange for for articulation and playability, you receive a higher fidelity product, with exceptional paintwork, often constructed with finer materials, lending itself to more appealing and attractive figures, especially for female characters. But this is probably one of the worst samples that I could have possibly gotten. She's kind of tough to praise, and while I do maintain that a properly constructed figure would be an appealing and unique addition to the shelf of any Transformers fan, recommending a figure to people based on the merits that my copy is supposed to have feels pretty disingenuous. Though I do sort of admire these faults in a way. They make me appreciate the fact that she was indeed created by real human hands. Somewhere far away on the other side of the world, a true artisan thanklessly devoted their time and energy to constructing this figure for me, treating the model with an almost motherly delicacy, as if handling a newborn child, meticulously rendering every fine detail of fabric and flesh, practically evoking the very spirit of the old masters themselves. And they still fucked it up. I do plan on getting the rest of this line, so hopefully next time I'll have a much more positive opinion overall for these figures. But if you want to see another review about a statuesque stunner, please check out my classic Windblade model kit review. But anyway, that's just my opinions. Please leave yours in the comments below. Bye bye.